Hopefully, you guys will be able to hear me because it's raining outside of my garage right now. And I don't have my tripod, but I need to do this now and not waste time. So hopefully, you're going to be able to hear me regardless, even though I don't have totally sound type place. When Father gives you a gift, when He gives you anointments to serve Him, there is something incredibly important to remember that most people don't ever think about. And the worm intentionally, Satan intentionally does all he can to keep you ignorant of this fact. When you have anointments and gifts that Father gives you, the worm is going to send people your way all the time. You're not going to realize it at first, but it is going to send roadblocks, people your way who are going to work and do their best. And they're not going to realize it. They're going to be pawns to rob you of the anointments you've been given. Now, no demon can take an anointment from you, but you can surrender it. It's no different than Samson. In the First Covenant Scriptures, the Old Testament, Samson, who had been anointed by Father with tremendous strength to deliver the people of Israel from the Philistines, and for several years, he was unbeatable. Father was with him. But when he started to grow complacent and arrogant, the worm sent his way his own kryptonite, which was a Philistines, or a Philistines, my word for it, Delilah. And everybody knows the story, even people who don't really know anything about scriptural narrative. She fooled him. She hornswoggled him. I love that word. Deceived him. And eventually, she got out the secret of his strength that was in his hair and had it cut. And he lost his anointment. When Father raises someone up with an anointment, a gift to do something, you can bet your money that the worm is going to do everything it can. If it can't shut you up or it can't stop you, it's going to send somebody to you that's going to influence you to do something to surrender your anointment, to transgress against Father. Because when Samson did what he did, he told her, shave off the locks of my hair. I'll be like any other man. The 7 locks of my hair. Because he braided them. His hair was so long he had to braid them. Kind of like how black people today have really long hair and they'll dread them so they can keep their really long hair. Same thing, essentially. Now, I'm not making, by saying that case, that crazy conspiracy theory that the Israelites were black. There's no historical significance or support for that at all. And I'm not saying that because I'm racist. I'm just stating a historical, scriptural fact. There's a lot of people out there from minority groups, like black minority groups, I like to say that. I'm not saying that he braided his hair and use the example of black people putting dreads in their hair because I'm saying he was black, or the people of Israel were black. They weren't black, they weren't white, they weren't Asian, they weren't Hispanic. They were of Middle Eastern nationality. They were specifically of Shemitic descent. They had olive skin. And he didn't have dreads. They were like braids. Regardless. Important disclaimer. I know people love to twist words. Once he told her that, and she cut off his hair, or had him cut off when he fell asleep in her lap. That was it. Father took his ruach, that special ruach and anointment of strength that was upon him. He took it. And it was actually a gift. It was a physiological gift he had. Samson had great, tremendous strength. I've heard some weirdo preachers out there. One guy in particular, one time, he tried to make the point that Samson didn't actually have great strength. That anytime he did something great, it was angels that came along and did the things they did for him. That's bullcrap. No, that was actually a miraculous power that Father gave him. He literally gave him the power of tremendous strength through his ruach, his spirit. And when he transgressed, and Samson knew not to do that, not to tell anyone, and he did, disobeyed, and he lost his strength. Now, of course, by the end of the narrative, the Philistines took him to prison, and basically, over a period of time, the locks of his hair started to grow back, and then toward the end of his life, and they had him performing in the temple of their abomination, their deity, Dagon. Everybody was partying in the temple, and he put his hands out on the temples, and he said, Yah Elohim, please hear the plea of your servant, avenge me on account of my two wives, and empower me just this one last time. And he pushed the pillars down, and the whole entire temple came down on everybody. It killed him too, but it also killed, I think it was like 5,000 people altogether that he killed. And it said that the people he killed at the end of his life with that final act of strength was more than he killed all throughout the rest of his life. But regardless, the point is, he lost the anointment that he was given because he transgressed. Saul was the same way. King Saul, the first king of Israel, whenever he disobeyed Father, the first time when he disobeyed him on account of the Amalekites, when he didn't wipe them out and commit total genocide like he was supposed to, well, that was the second time. The first time was when he was supposed to wait to go out to battle until Samuel could come along and offer a sacrifice, and he got impatient because the people got scared and were leaving him, so he went ahead and offered the sacrifice himself, which he wasn't supposed to do, and then that was his first transgression, disobedience, and then the second one was with the Amalekites. I'm not going to go into the full narratives of the story because that's not the point. The point is, he disobeyed Father, and he lost his anointment. You can guarantee that if the worm can't stop you from doing something for Father, it's going to do all it can to send someone your way to try to do something to take the anointment from you by causing you to disobey Father. And oftentimes, you're not even going to realize it at first when that person is sent your way. You're not even going to realize that they're being put in your path to try to rip the anointment away from you in some way. You're not even going to know. It's going to happen just like that. But you need to hear what I'm telling you today so you can be mindful in every interaction you have with people, anywhere you go, to always, always, always be mindful. If you've been given any kind of a gift from Father, not to disobey him or do something you know and feel in your being is wrong. Because if you transgress against him and do something he's told you not to do, you could very well stand to lose the gift and the anointment he's given you. And if you do that, there's no guarantee he's going to give it back. And in fact, there's not a good track record at all of anybody ever disobeying Father and him taking the anointment from them and then giving it back. In fact, there's not one instance of him ever doing that, of him taking an anointment from somebody who disobeyed him and then giving it back to them. He would give it to someone else. Saul took the anointment to be Melech, king, from him, and gave it to Yadad, to David, to be Melech, or king, over the people of Israel. So, always be mindful everywhere you go and in everything that you do. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, make sure you are mindful. Make sure that you pay attention. Make sure that you have discernment everywhere you go, in town, out, party. I don't care where you are. At work, make sure you are always mindful, because if you lose it, there's no guarantee you're going to get it back, and you're probably not. And then you surrender your purpose. It's very important. Very important.